What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about Bitcoin and really going over volume profiles and talking about what I think Bitcoin is going to do here in the future. Before I get started, make sure that you hit that like button for me, as well as subscribing, because I'm dedicated to uploading 5 videos weekly on my channel, just like this one, to keep you guys updated and posted in the cryptocurrency markets. I also have a personal goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers, and we just ticked over 27,000, so huge shout out to you guys. I really appreciate everybody that's been watching my videos lately. My XRP video is one of the best videos I've made in a long time as far as views go, and I really appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me. As well as Digibyte, that one did extremely well. So if you guys could share this share this with your friends for me to help me achieve my goal, that would be really awesome. So yeah, Bitcoin is the main topic of today's video, and we'll get straight into the analysis. So a lot of people have been asking me about Bitcoin and whether I think that the prices can move up from here. One of the main arguments that people have for a deeper bear market is volume. And, it really depends on where you're looking at volume, to be honest with you. If you go to TradingView, the thing with volume is there's tons and tons of different exchanges in crypto. And so all of them have different liquidity, different amount of traders, different volumes, at different prices sometimes even. And so because of that, you really have to be looking at an index of volume. And the best place to look at the index of volume is actually the crypto total market cap. And that's what I talked about in yesterday's video. So if you guys haven't watched it, make sure you go check out Cryptocurrency Will Make More Millionaires Than the Internet, because I firmly believe that it will. And as you can see on the index of volume, the crypto total market cap, we actually have plenty of volume. We actually have a lot of volume, to be honest with you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the volume on Coinbase, because this is one of my favorite spots to look at volume and discuss kind of why I think Bitcoin can easily keep pushing up higher from here. You guys, by the way, the Bitcoin block halving is in 11 days. So that's really, really exciting, because in 11 days, we half the mining supply. And in the past, we've seen extremely large price increases after the halving events. Now, I personally think that we're going to see a similar thing this cycle. So one thing that I am taking note of is this horizontal resistance, or this downtrending resistance right here. And there is some horizontal resistance as well at 10,000 per Bitcoin. But what's interesting about the volume that I'm seeing right now is I actually see a fractal of volume in the same capitulation event that happened right here, when Bitcoin went from 6,000 down to 3,000. I see the same from 10,000 down to about 4. That same kind of capitulation event in the market. And what actually happened is we got a huge spike of volume right at the bottom, and then volume went down. As you can see, huge spike in volume, and then volume went down. And then we started getting green volume spikes as we started creating an uptrend. Now we're starting to get those green volume spikes today, and we're creating that uptrend. So, as we break this downtrending resistance, it's always possible we consolidate next to it, and kind of breathe at that resistance for a second. But I do fully expect us to break above that downtrending resistance. As we do so, I'm expecting us to see more volume candles, kind of like what we saw right here, where a ton of volume was coming into the market and the strength was really showing for the bulls. And, that's one thing about volume, is it can be very hidden. You have to think in terms of, what is a whale going to do? And they're not just going to make it completely obvious to you where the prices are going to go. But if you have that lens, then you can see what the whale is seeing and think like them as well. So I kind of do expect Bitcoin to break above this resistance. As far as using the halving event to accurately predict exactly what price Bitcoin will be at, that's not what the halving event is about in any way whatsoever. But it does drive demand. And so as demand is driven up, of course, prices will be driven up as well. Now, the day of the halving, I don't know, that's 10 days from now, 11 days from now, actually. So we could easily break above this resistance, and we could break above this resistance and come test this as support, during the halving event. It doesn't have to rise the day of the halving. And I want to make that very clear so that you guys don't panic sell if we come retest support, or if we come, pull back a little bit before we break. Either of those options are areas that I am buying dips. I'm going to be throwing my cash reserves into Bitcoin. I've made a ton of profit off of this low. As you guys know, I put in over half of my cash reserves into Bitcoin when we were around 4,000 per coin. And so I've made a lot of money off of this rise, and any dips that I have a chance to buy, I will be buying. And those are kind of the two scenarios I see. We either breathe at resistance here, find support and break, or we just break and then find support on the halving. The other would of course just be that we supermoon. But I kind of think that it's more likely that, we will see a little bit of a corrective pattern, 10% or something along those lines at some point here. Purely just because of the nature of markets, even we corrected right here, 10%, we corrected right here, we corrected right here. Along the way up, we corrected right here, right here, right here. It's possible we have a big leg like this, you guys. That's not impossible, which is part of the reasons that I have been buying all dips, including this dip right here, including this dip right here, including this dip right here. I've just been aiming to purchase, and even the 6K support floor, I've been aiming to purchase Bitcoin in all panic days, because the big picture trend is really what I'm primarily concerned with. And you guys, the big picture trend is amazing. We have this expanding wedge pattern, which is a bullish reversal pattern. And as we break the resistance of the wedge, that confirms its target. And the target of this wedge pattern is actually the height of the wedge. And you can take that and measure, and so that puts Bitcoin back over our horizontal major resistance of 14K, confirms a higher high, and confirms a higher low in the market, meaning that this will be a higher high, this was a higher low, this was the all-time low, and this was the first high. And so that's upward trend development. And as we develop an upward trend, the strength will get stronger and stronger and stronger. Prices will move more and more parabolic in nature, and we'll continue to expand faster and faster. So that's why I'm so excited about Bitcoin from an analysis perspective, you guys. Also, in some of the smaller time frames, we do have quite a bit of action that's showing upward strength. And what I mean by that, actually, what I want to clarify here is when you look at price action, one way that you can kind of determine what's going to happen. Let me drop time frames to one that will be a little easier to see what I'm talking about. Let's see what the 6 hour. Okay, here we go. What was interesting to me is just how bearish everybody was in all of this choppy price action. First of all, everybody's getting chopped up. They're trying to go short right here. 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 And maybe they made a few good trades along that, but that's just choppy action, you guys. If anything, the strategy during all of that choppiness would have been to buy all panic. But what's interesting is this was actually moving in a very reasonable growth curve. I mean, it's not like we hit this low and then went parabolic like that. That would have been very bearish, because we would have just shown that the market was not showing sustainable growth. So the angle of your trend is actually very important, because this trend angle, and now we've broken out of this channel, we're retesting it as support. That trend angle was not overly steep in any way. And one of the reasons I knew we were going to get a huge breakout in this little area here was also because this upward channel was just growing at a very consistent rate that isn't parabolic in nature and can totally grow. Now this right here is a bit parabolic in nature, but we also had a lot of volume come in at the breakout. And so that's bullish, you guys. This can do a little ABC right here and then break, or this can even consolidate in a triangle pattern and break. It really depends, but I do expect consolidation in this area and continuation after that consolidation. And so because of that, you guys, it leads me to believe that Bitcoin is quite bullish. I'm staying long. I'm buying dips. If we panic a little bit further now, awesome, I'll pick it up. If we break resistance and come back onto a support, awesome, I'll pick it up. If we just straight break out and start supermooning, you guys already know that I put over half my cash reserves in on this huge capitulation event because I was expecting us to see price action like this, even though the rest of crypto Twitter and the rest of the entire market was calling for really, really low prices in this range. So that's kind of my expected price action as we move forward. And what I'm really excited about in these markets right now, you guys, the altcoins will follow along with Bitcoin. Some of the Bitcoin pairs, as Bitcoin broke out right here, were dropping a little bit, you guys, but I don't want you guys to think that that really matters, because the main thing, people get really greedy. And so they're like, oh, well, I'm only going to trade Bitcoin pairs. And I do trade Bitcoin pairs, you guys, because I like to grow my overall Bitcoin stack. But if you're making money versus the dollar, you're beating the market. And just the plain fact of the matter is 90% of the market loses. So if you're beating the market, you're in the 10% that's actually winning. Who freaking cares whether you're winning in dollar profit or Bitcoin profit? As long as you're growing your total account value, that should be your number one concern. And then as you grow that total account balance and as you get good at that, then you can start worrying about, okay, am I growing versus Bitcoin in this trade or not? Because then you'll be aiming to even grow your Bitcoin pair. But don't get too greedy, you guys. Try to grow your account. Use proper risk management. Ladder into positions. Don't go all in at once. Don't go all out of the market at once. Always have a percentage in dollar. Always have a large percentage in Bitcoin. Always have a percentage in altcoins so that you're well diversified. You're not taking too much risk. You're not taking too little risk. You're not missing out, but you're not over risking. And it just leaves you with the mindset that remains profitable when the rest of everybody is losing. And that's why I've been able to make money in these markets for so long now, why I've been able to pull consistent profits out of it, and why I teach this stuff and help others do the same. You guys, I've been getting a ton of new VIP members in the group, so huge shout out to the VIPs. I've been posting tons of signals. We've all been making a lot of money together on Bitcoin, on altcoins, you name it, Digibyte. We have direct specific targets for Digibyte. So if you're looking to accelerate your learning, this is definitely the place to do it. I've consolidated all of the best knowledge I've learned over the past 5 years from books, courses, and my own personal experience into the VIP. Direct message me or email me and I will get you a 20% discount on joining. Links are in the description. I really appreciate you guys tuning into today's video. Again, the block halving reward is in 11 days, so get prepared for some exciting Bitcoin price action. As always, stay profitable out there.